Hi everyone, you are welcome to my channel this week. Welcome to my company. This week I'm going to discuss with you toilet infection. What exactly is toilet infection? What are the causes of toilet infection? What are the symptoms when you have toilet infection? How do you know you have? What are the prevention and what are the treatments for toilet infection? All this I'm going to discuss with you. But remember to subscribe to this video, like, comment and share. My name remains John Hunter. You'll be astonished, you'll be surprised if I tell you what is toilet infection. So-called toilet infections are not actually infections that are gotten from the toilets. They are not from the toilets. Because the bacteria that causes these infections are not found in the toilets. They cannot even last long in the toilets. So they are not toilet infections. Throughout the world, there's no single science or medical book that has the word toilet infection recorded. No. Toilet infection is a term that is coined and adopted in Africa, which refers to ND infection. In medical world, there is nothing like toilet infection. It is actually called vaginal infection. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to use the African term, toilet infection. Toilet infection, it is a condition that causes infection or inflammation in the vagina, which causes itches, pains, bleeding, discharge, and many more. Majority of these infections are actually sexually transmitted diseases, STDs or STIs, sexually transmitted infections. Though there are few infections that are not sexually transmitted. That is why it is easy or possible for a virgin to have infection, or somebody who is not that sexually active to have infection. Now, let's discuss the causes of infection. Infection is majorly caused by one particular thing, one particular reason, which is change or alteration in the vaginal environment. Listen carefully. Change or alteration in the vaginal environment. What is vaginal environment? As a woman, both good and bad, we have chemicals and organisms in your vagina. They are supposed to protect, manage the vagina. These are the vaginal environments. And these chemicals and organisms are supposed to have a very tight, secured balance. And anything that causes changes, alteration, be decrease or increase between the balance may result in infection. Hope you get that. Change or alteration in the vaginal environment. The vaginal environment are the chemical and organisms that are supposed to secure the vagina. Now, what are the causes of these changes and alteration in the vaginal environment? Number one is excessive hygiene. Excessive hygiene. What do I mean by excessive hygiene? Is it bad to be very hygiene? No. What I mean by excessive hygiene is too much washing of the vagina causes infection. Like when you have sex, you wash. When you have menses, you wash. When you pee, you wash. When you do this, you wash. When you do that, you wash. Too much of watching of the vagina may result to infection, because all these organisms and chemicals, you touch them off more than you're supposed to do. And remember, anything that causes imbalance between the chemicals and organisms may result to infection. 2. Poor hygiene. Are you surprised? Excessive hygiene and poor hygiene. Yes, poor hygiene leads to infection. What I mean by poor hygiene is when you leave your vagina wet all the time, don't keep it dry, you may tend to have infection. Remember, bacteria, they love place that is wet. When you take your bath, you will not dry up, you wear your pants, the place is wet. When you wear too tight pants, it keeps your vagina wet. If you are the type of woman that love the sensational, you allow your man to finger you. Oh my God, it's very, very bad. You may think your man or your guy is clean after all, just takes back for the sex moment. Let me tell you this, my dear. These hands, these fingers, the nails, they are contaminated. They contact bacteria. So the moment your man deep down his hand there, you are contacted. Number 3, chemical. Listen carefully. Chemical, it is very, very important. Chemical in the sense that when you apply too much or excessive creams, soaps, perfumes, and other stuffs, they affect you. They affect your vagina, especially if you're a woman that you wash your vagina with soap. You open yourself to infection. There's some women that wanna like change the odor of the vagina. Normally, vagina has its own odor, the smell. Majorly, it's not that sweet, it's not that bad, but it is infections and other things that causes it to smell bad, to smell like fish odor, a rotten fish. You understand? Now, some women want to change the odor of the vagina. They want it to smell good, so they end up using perf, deodorant, other things on the vagina. When you do this, you weaken, you destroy the protective organs. Another powerful one is antibiotics. When you have infection, you end up using antibiotics. I'm not saying antibiotics is not good. Listen, you have infection, you want to treat yourself with antibiotics, no problem. I'm not saying it's not good. But listen carefully. When you use antibiotics for a very long period of time, you destroy the organs that's supposed to protect your vagina. You end up having infection. Because when the organisms and the chemicals are not having adequate balancing, you will have infection. So too much of using antibiotics, or there are some antibiotics that are very strong, they destroy the organism. Another one is hormones. This results from using pills. Like you want to protect yourself from pregnancy, you use pills. Like your normal monthly ovulation, drugs during pregnancy, and the rest. This may open you to infection. They may cause infection. Another one is low immunity. When your immune system is low, as a result of excessive emotional or physical stress, as a result of HIV/AIDS, as a result of diabetes, and many other things like that, anything at all that lower your immune system opens you to infection. Now, haven't known this, what are the things you're supposed to do when you have infection? When you discover you have infection, what are the things you are supposed to do? Or you are supposed to go to a doctor? Yes, fine. The doctor will treat you. But there's something you need to do by yourself before going to the doctor. Because if you don't do that particular thing, you just end up having retreatment, reoccurring of infection. And that thing is, what is the cause of the infection? What causes the infection? What brings the infection? What is responsible for the infection? You need to find out this. Like, is it during your menstrual cycle? Is it at a particular time in the month? Is it as a result of sexual intercourse? Are you reacting to something? Do you share your personal items with somebody? Those are the things you need to consider first. And when you know the cause, then you go for the treatment. Without finding out this, you are not helping yourself. As a woman, these are the things you will notice. Itches in the vagina or sometimes in the body. Vaginal discharge. And this vaginal discharge, sometimes, especially when you're having bacterial infection, the discharge will change color from time to time, like from white to yellow to green, and some salts. You will have a burning sensation, as in when you're having sex. Sex is meant to enjoy, but if you're having infection, you will experience pains during sex. During urination, when you pee, you will still experience pains. Sometimes, odor, what I mean by odor is you may not actually have discharge, but your vagina will smell bad. As a man, you may have white penis discharge, itches, you may have pains and burning while urinating and while ejaculating. You know the funny thing, when you're having sex as a man, the ejaculation moment is what you are supposed to enjoy. That's the best moment of sex. But in your case, man, it will be very, very painful. And now, if you don't have this infection, you know the cause, you know where it comes from, and you want to treat it, what do? This is the best part of this video. I am going to introduce to you Hunter's Herbal Powder. Hunter's Herbal Powder is a very powerful anti-infective herbal mixture that is traditionally formulated for the permanent cure and prevention of all kinds of infection, be it fungal infection, bacterial infection, any type of infection. Honestly, Hunter's Herbal Powder is the best herbal mixture for infection ever produced in Africa. It is very cheap, very effective. So, if you have this infection, I tell you, don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Get yourself Hunter's Herbal Powder and live a very infection-free life.